Oh, well, thanks for bringing all the milk over here. Welcome to TestStack Plays. As an indie dev myself, I know how disheartening it can be to post a project you're excited about and get very little feedback. So I go hunting for overlooked indie games, play through them, and share my honest design thoughts. If you want to see more indie dev feedback videos or to just follow along, hit that subscribe button and let's get started. Today, we are looking at the demo version of The Christmas Shift, a cozy horror style game currently in early development. The link is in the description. The starting off point is good. I know what I need to do. I can look at the top left and see my current objective. The overall vibe and graphics of everything fits exactly what this developer seems to be going for. The sound effects are doing a good job at building that atmosphere, and overall it's a good start. This is the first point in the game where I hit a little bit of friction with the onboarding. Up to this point, I've been giving simple tasks to open the store, go wait for customers, and now I've been told to serve the customer 2 coffees. That should be no problem. However, at this point, I have not been given any instruction on how to actually make a coffee. You've done a good job making the drink preparation make sense, so it's not exactly rocket science to figure out that I'm going to need coffee in the coffee machine to make coffee. However, as I learned later while playing through the game, you actually do have a set of instructions here in this back room, detailing out fully how to run every piece of machinery in the game. The problem is that you never actually directed the player to come back here until the very end of the game when this information is no longer needed. I believe it'd be more helpful to either direct the player back here earlier just so they can see these and know to come back and reference them, or maybe even place a simple diagram on the back wall here, since like I said, the drinks themselves are easy to figure out and I was able to do it without that information, but a small diagram here detailing out each step of the drinks would probably be enough for most players to get by and you wouldn't even need the walls of text. This way players aren't fumbling around and getting frustrated, which sometimes can lead to you losing a player that otherwise would have stuck around. Once you are actually preparing orders, there are a few interaction oddities. Placing a coffee on the serving tray works with a simple left click. But if you want to place a pastry, something appears to be bugged. If I go get the pastry she asked for, in this case a snowball cookie, I come over here, left clicking on this does not place the pastry down and allow me to complete the order. After some trial and error, I discover that I actually need to right click to drop the order on there. I can now no longer pick this item back up and I can complete the order. You're definitely going to want to standardize interaction across all items. Having 2 different systems interact with the same thing is going to lead to player frustration, and at this point they'll probably just assume it's bugged and stop playing. One other small piece of oddity that I noticed was placing a cup on the espresso machine itself. While holding a cup and highlighting the espresso machine, if I left click, nothing happens. I have to aim down here, which does change the prompt to say place cup, but now nothing is highlighted. If I left click here, the cup places. But this does not follow the same pattern as we see over here with the serving board where the entire thing highlights because I can set something down on it. I'd recommend either just letting me left click on the entire espresso machine to place the cup, or at the very least adding some kind of highlight around the section where you place the cup to keep it in line with the rest of the design. Something I noticed while playing around with the different interaction systems is actually an issue I've done in my own projects. You're actually able to spawn infinite items into the world. Now, this by itself isn't that big of an issue. However, it does start to ruin the vibe that you have going on in this game when the player can just go through and absolutely trash the store. Not only that, but having this many items around that you hadn't planned for does open you up the possibility of running into more bugs, as well as performance drops if the players just really go nuts. And be quick, I don't want my car to get stuck in the snow. Well, let's see how patient you are. Don't mind me, sir. I'm very busy preparing your order. This leads me to my biggest piece of feedback for this game at the moment. As the game is currently, there is no failure state. A customer asks for a drink fast, but there are no timers. There's no way for the drinks to cool off. You can't fail an order, I can't put cocoa powder in the espresso machine and mess something up. In a horror game, the mundane tasks, they create stress, they can create tension. If a player realizes they can make a customer wait forever, then, well, the tension's gone. They no longer trust that anything has consequences. On your Steam page, you list keep your customers happy as a core feature. Adding in timers or a way for the drinks to cool or the ability to get an order wrong will help engage the player more and keep them focused on the task at hand instead of, well, you know, trashing the shop. Okay, now I apologize, sir. I got distracted. We've been busy here. What did you want? A coffee. Well, you're in luck. I keep the best coffees in this locker back here. Have a good day. Also, as just a quick note, this should be U''RE, as in you are welcome. Just quick grammar correction. Overall, the project is coming together really well. For an early build, it actually ran really smooth despite all of my experimentation. The system's work and what bugs I did find were minimal. If you want to check out the Christmas Shift, the link is below. If you have any further feedback on this game or have a suggestion for a game I should check out, leave a comment, and I'll see you in the next one.